Hi, my name is Ron Turner, right here, as you can see, and I will be talking to you today about the Rio Salado Habitat Restoration Site. It runs along the Salt River Corridor and is just 3 miles south of downtown Phoenix. I chose this picture because you can see the downtown Phoenix skyline behind me, and I think that shows you just how close it is to downtown and to tourism and to brightening up the area. See, not long ago, it was nothing more than a trash dump. Now it's home to 200 species of birds. Over 200 species of birds visit the area annually, and that number is increasing as it is been around a little bit longer. Turtles call this area home, ducks, hummingbirds, songbirds, let's see what else, fish. There's fish in this pond. Up into the larger birds, ospreys and bald eagles. In fact, the day that I was there, a group saw a great horned owl underneath the Central Avenue Bridge. And I'll show you kind of where that area is as we progress along this video. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get a video of the owl, sadly. But first, a little history of the area. So, like I said, it runs along the Salt River Corridor, and around the turn of the century, dams were placed along the Salt River, as you can see here, and along the Verde River. And so these dams created Horseshoe Lake, Bartlett Lake, as you see here, Saguaro Lake, Canyon, Apache, and the big guy, Roosevelt Lake. All that was to ensure, we had water. They made a canal system and kind of thought ahead about water for the valley, but that really displaced some natural habitats along the way. And this right here is the city of Phoenix, and right in this area is where the habitat restoration site is. And Central Ave runs right up here, and the bridge goes right over the area. In fact, I've lived here for over 30 years and have driven that bridge before and wasn't really aware that area was there, so I'm glad to be able to share this with you guys. So before its creation, like I mentioned before, it was kind of just a trash dump. Not much was going on. This is what the river bottom looked like back in 2005, before this project really started getting underway. And here's that bridge I was sharing with you about. And as you can see, just a dry riverbed. They picked up thousands of tons of trash and tires, and it just kind of turned into a landfill of sorts in an industrial area. And wasn't anything how it used to be back when the river was flowing naturally, which was a riparian area in the desert with large cottonwood trees and a large diversity of birds, which I'll share with you a little bit more here. Here's kind of what it looks like now, and is most closely, in my understanding, to what it would have looked like back when the river was running. This is a standing pool, but it's what they call the wetlands pool. To the area. And here's that Central Avenue Bridge where somebody saw that owl, lucky people. But down here you can see there's a great white egret, some American coots, call this pond home and are here. In fact, I saw blue heron here a couple of times when I was down there doing some work. So a lot of work to this area. But aside from the pools, they also have some of the natural Sonoran wetland and desert area, which you can see here. And this is a picture of the white egret that I saw when I was doing some hiking down there. So this is me looking west, and here is 7th Street Bridge, and I was just crossing the dry riverbed. The overflow channel will be right around this area, and I saw this guy, so I was lucky enough to snap a picture of him. I'm sorry it's not better, but you can still get an idea how close you really can be to nature when you're down there. So I mentioned that overflow channel earlier in the slide, and here's a bigger piece of it. So the Army Corps of Engineers actually dug out this channel to assist the city of Phoenix with floodwaters. So not only does it create a natural habitat, for a riparian habitat for these birds and mammals and ducks and all that fun stuff, but it actually serves a purpose in helping with the monsoon floods, and giving that water a place to go, and more of a purpose as well. The area runs on a kind of a 3-pool system, and this is the 3rd pool. At the top you'll have the reservoir pond, then the wetlands pond, the pond I showed you before, and this is the lower one, the overflow channel. This picture here kind of shows you a little bit of the diversity of trees that they have to the area. They've got cottonwoods and mesquites and palo verdes, and there's some palms in there. and it kind of gives you an overview as well. As it's taken from up top, and as this goes down, you can kind of see the progression of the area. That's the Central Avenue Bridge, and the water would have made its way down here from those progressions of ponds and natural flowing currents. So this is a picture of some of the critters that call the area home, and this will go well because this is the pond I was just talking about that is up top. This is the reservoir pond, and it's home to some turtles, as you can see here, and even some fish. I took this picture, so again I apologize, but right here is one of the many species of fish that they have in there doing some feeding of its own on some algae. This guy will also become food for large osprey and even the bald eagles when they're around, so he better find some deeper water. This is a burrowing owl. The burrowing owls are just now getting introduced to the area and getting dropped around the way. I am excited to see how these guys take hold into the habitat, as I've seen them in other areas and they're really fun to watch. So as I talked about, again, here's the reservoir pond, and water comes from the Salt River when we have floods. In the case when we don't have the floods in the river, or the water's not being released from the dams, water can be pumped from an underwater non-potable aquifer, and that'll get pumped into this pond. As this pond fills up, it's going to flow through a series of channels, and these channels flow downstream here. This really mimics a natural riparian area in the form of, you've got some ponds, you've got shaded trees around the edges, then you've got your streams that are going to carry water down ways. Here's a little waterfall that they've created to mimic that natural flow of water down in through these channels, and it's going to go into those pools that I spoke of. Here's another view of that wetland pond that I talked about. This was right before I took this, a blue heron flew by. And I wasn't able to get it, but I almost dropped my phone in the water taking this picture because I was so excited. But this gives you another view of that wetland pond and some of the diversity of the trees here and the smaller shrubbery and really the overall riparian area. So I was lucky enough to talk to Officer Louis from the Parks and Rec Department, as I shared with you, and he was doing some work in this area today, and he talked with me about some of the history of the area. He talked with me about the dams, but he really also talked to me about some of the opportunities they have for volunteering down here. And he showed me the group and some of the work they were doing that day. This is a group he was leading this is one of those channels that carries the water down to the different ponds, and here it is again. And right here, it's kind of hard to see where that little red flag is, but that's a desert willow, a native tree to the area, and they were planting these along here to create shade, and they were removing some of the invasive plant and shrub species out of that way so that that area can really thrive and be what it is today. So this area is great. It does a couple of things. It provides an educational opportunity. Here's a group of South Mountain students that were doing some work for their environmental biology class. They were taking water samples from the area and focusing on water ecology and wetland ecology. And that's 3 miles away from downtown Phoenix. So creating opportunities like that is great for educational purposes. It also serves for recreation purposes. It's got hiking trails and biking trails all along the way as well. So along with that, there's really hopes that this area is going to create some excitement around the Salt River Corridor and enhance some of the building opportunities around that way and increase some property values as well. So I hope you enjoyed my video. Once again, my name is Ronald Turner, and I thank you so much for your time. Have a great day.